How is it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and welcome to Madden 27. I know I said I wouldn't be caught dead playing this game at full price, and to be honest with you, I'm not playing this game at full price. I found that there was a nice little deal on Steam right now because I already own College Football 27, where I could get Madden 27 for a slightly discounted rate. I won't spend $70 on this buggy, broken, unrealistic piece of junk. However, I will for a discounted rate, especially if it means I can put out some interesting videos for you guys, I hope. So today we are beginning our first steps as an NFL head coach here, and you can see right now that we are hovering over the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals currently hold the longest NFL title drought at, I think, 78 or 79 years. Let me just reconfirm real quick. So I went ahead and confirmed it is indeed 78 years of titleless football for the Arizona Cardinals. However, their squad is actually in a decent shape here to begin. We're an 81 overall, and as you can see, Trey McBride is a 99 overall, one of the very few that Madden awards, and I don't know necessarily if he deserves a 99 overall. Trey McBride is a fantastic tight end. Do not get me confused about that. However, I don't know if there was any tight end in the NFL truly deserving of a 99 overall. When you make it as exclusive of a club to be a 99 overall, I kind of felt like they were just handing them out to whoever this season. There was a lot of them. But anyway, we are going to be taking over the Cardinals. I will not complain about our tight end being a 99 overall. That is for sure. We still have plenty of talent behind Trey McBride as well, with Budda Baker, Josh Sweat. Walter Nolan III is a young and promising defensive tackle, and then Paris Johnson Jr. looks to be your left tackle of the future as well. However, you would think that the big question in Arizona is the quarterback position. I'm pretty sure they're riding things out this season with Jacoby Brissett at the quarterback helm. And let me tell you, as a Commanders fan who had to watch Jacoby Brissett start some games for us, you're not going to be very pleased. I think he's good enough to win you games here and there, right? That's what you want from your backup, as someone who can come in and be a solid contributor off the bench. However, letting your franchise ride on him, I don't know about that. I could import I wonder if I could import my coach from College Football 27. So looking in the coach options here, obviously you've got your offensive and defensive gurus or / geniuses, whatever you want to call them. You've got your development wizards, which is usually what I like. I like to be able to develop the talent on my team. However, we have a couple of other options. We could use a real coach. Obviously, we're not going to consider doing that here. Armchair has taken over the program. However, the college coach option does interest me. I don't know what it means. When I click it here, it brings us into just coach creation. And I'm assuming that when we get into the actual coach or the actual dynasty, we'll see whatever special abilities we have. However, I don't know if I want to do this or the development wizard. So I gotta brainstorm for a second here. Okay, so I've read online a little bit, trying to research what the deal is, because it doesn't really tell you what your skill levels are, right? When you're looking in here. Like when you're looking at these other archetypes, you get the little tick marks to tell you what you're great at, but then you just get this when you go over college coach. So I had to look it up and see what you get, and it seems like it's actually a pretty decent way to go. Okay, so we have committed to the college coach archetype here. We're going to see what that's all about. As you can see, we've got Mr. Armchair dripped out to the nines, even down to the shoes. We keep those strapped up, though. There's an unstrapped option, but I get that it's a style thing, but I just couldn't bear the thought of my shoes sliding off of my feet with every step. But here we are. Okay, so we do see that we have 3 ticks in offense and defense, 4 in player development, and 1 in personnel development. I really feel like that is not that bad to start here. And as you can see, we get a few college abilities. Okay, so it looks like there's a few college-esque plays that we'll be able to call in our play sheets, and a couple of other bonuses as well. So that's very interesting to note here. So the other thing about this series is that we will be playing every single game, and I think we'll keep the quarters at about 10 minutes. We'll let the clock accelerate as well. That should keep games fairly digestible. I mean, the goal is that we get, like, I think 2 or 3 games an episode. That's usually, I think, the formula that the big tubers use for their videos, and that's what we'll follow here as well. And of course, we'll take a look here at all the other setup options before we get in. Okay, so nothing like FIFA where I have to really pay attention to the setup options before we get in here. When we get in, there's going to be a lot that's new to me, because I think the last Madden I truly played a lot of was Madden 24. And obviously, things have changed significantly since Madden 24 at this point in the terms of gameplay and what is in these games. So we're going to dive right in here to preseason week 1. Looks like the menus are totally different. As you can see, we got like a nice little ticker on the bottom. Definitely is nice as a quality of life feature to see this. And if we like left click, we can see the news center here where there's all these headlines. Obviously, all of the realistic headlines like Myles Garrett being on the Rams, Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl, and a couple, was it a tweet from Mike LaFleur? Oh, that's about us firing Mike LaFleur and hiring Armchair because we're the better coach, right? I'm interested to see how Mike LaFleur does in Arizona. It'll be interesting to see what this roster can do. I'm not expecting them to be a playoff contender, and I won't expect us to be a playoff contender in Madden either. So we have the option to set our own weekly strategy. However, we could also approve our staff game plan. I'm interested to see what we've got here. Like, we've got all of these traits, right? And if we look at, like, staff abilities, I remember in Madden 24, it was, like, maybe just becoming a thing to have these staff abilities. So yeah, if we look in here in the Coach Hub, we can see all of our abilities. There's a ton down here that we'll be able to unlock later, which I think will become very valuable. Some of these in particular. Like scouting buffs are very good. After school tutor, I think, is one of the most important ones you can have for development of your players, right? Because that allows you to have more focused players during practice, which allows you to get more XP for them. And then, of course, down here, there is a ton of these abilities that we can end up buying with our coach points, it looks like. So these, I think, are mostly new, or at least being able to buy some of these is. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to unlock this one, considering we are a college coach. That's interesting. But all of these other abilities, it looks like we can buy. So there's a bunch of them that will buff training XP. Looks like some more scouting buffs down here. More training XP. So Camp Counselor is definitely one of the most valuable ones here, I think. Just gives us extra boosts for training camp, which is always nice. Anything that helps us develop our talent is a lot better. Eagle Eye might be good here for our scouting for new players. But the other thing to consider, right, as a coach is we only have a certain amount of slots that we can use. And once we use a slot, I think for what we were talking about here, like if we look in our abilities, we can only do so many. We only have 6 slots to use. So if I went in here and I said, okay, well, I'd want us to use, you can see that for 7 weeks, that slot is going to be locked up. So it becomes a game of managing what you want to use and where. So that's going to be something to keep our eyes on. But we'll go ahead and approve the staff plan for now since we can't really do much else for this week. And with practice complete, I kind of wish I had looked in the strategy. I'm going to have to manually do strategy every week to make sure that we're developing players that I want us to develop. Madden will choose some random BS player that is never going to develop, and I'd rather not have us do that. It looks like we do have a upgrade available here for Hayden Connor. It doesn't look like we have like the whole scheme fit thing anymore, right? There used to be a puzzle piece that told you if they were a scheme fit or not. It doesn't look like there's the whole... Okay, there is the scheme fit thing. It's just like super tiny up there in the corner, and I guess we won't be able to see it when we are upgrading players, which is kind of annoying. I'd like for us to be able to see when we when we're upgrading what we want to upgrade them towards our scheme, right? Let's take a look at our roster in whole really quickly here. I don't want to waste too much time because I think most people watching NFL videos are knowledgeable enough to know the roster. The quarterback room is definitely a problem, with Carson Beck being the only young guy in there, and I don't know if Carson Beck will ever turn into anything. He's 24 years old, and he's just not good. Jeremiah Love, the young superstar running back. I'm very excited to see what we can make happen with him in our backfield. And then we have a nice kind of 1-2 tandem of grinded out backs, I would call them, in Tyler Algier and James Conner, that we can kind of rotate between to keep them both fresh here, and then really make sure that we let Jeremiah Love be out there and make explosive plays for us. The running back room in Arizona is definitely one of their stronger pieces. Wide receiver-wise, you've got Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. has had a rough start to his career. He's been in a situation where I think the quarterback play hasn't been great, but he himself just hasn't really lived up to the hype that he had coming out of college. I still think he's got all the potential in the world. Every time this guy was open or not open in college, he had a chance to catch the football. And I think if we can really force the ball through him in this dynasty, we might be able to see him become a true superstar. But down the board here, it's Kendrick Bourne, Devin Duvernay, and a bunch of other pieces that aren't really superstars. And Trey McBride, we know all about him in the tight end room. And then at left tackle here, of course, we know all about Paris Johnson Jr. Isaac Seumalo is a little bit on the older side, probably looking to draft some new talent, either at guard, center, right guard. We have Chase Basantis, who is a hidden dev player right now. I'll be excited to see what dev trait he's got. And then right tackle is a notably weak spot for us, with Elijah Wilkinson leading the way. On the defensive side of things, you've got Zaven Collins and Josh Sweat on your edges. I think that's not a bad combo. Probably could upgrade on the left edge. And then in the middle of the field, we've got way too many defensive tackles. Caleb Proctor is a hidden dev rookie that we might give some more playing time than Roy Lopez or Andrew Billings here, just to let him develop. In the mic room, we've got Mac Wilson Sr. and Owen Papo. And then Will is Jack Gibbons, Cody Simon, Carson Sharar, probably, Austin Keys. And then Garrett Williams, Will Johnson, Sean Murphy Bunting are your top three cornerbacks. Definitely a weaker cornerback room. Andrew Wingard's your safety. Bro looks a little bit like Thor. And then Budda Baker, the star strong safety. He's a little bit older though, right? He's 30 years old, so he's probably going to start regressing soon. The team is young and talented in some places, a little bit older and talented in others, and then just straight up not talented in a few as well. So plenty for us to be building here as we try to give Arizona their first title ever, I think. I think it'd be their first Super Bowl win ever, and it might even be their second Super Bowl appearance, because they did appear in a Super Bowl against the Steelers, which they came up just short. That was an electric Super Bowl. I remember watching that one live, as we will walk into our first press conference. But yeah, that was a crazy Super Bowl. Really, I was rooting for the Cardinals in that Super Bowl, right? Because that was around the era where the Pittsburgh Steelers were just dominating constantly, and I really wanted a new winner. So here we are. We're walking into the facility, walking down the hallways of our new home, and we're about to introduce ourselves to the media, tell them what we are all about here in Arizona, and tell them that we are finally going to bring a Lombardi trophy. As we are asked, if given our offensive background, what area of that unit do you think will have the biggest impact on? I think, obviously, we want to be able to develop our quarterbacks the best, right? Our quarterback is the key of our offense, and we want to make sure that our quarterbacks are the best. So that will unlock a couple play sheets and an ability for our coach. And it says, moving more to off the field, what area do you emphasize as needing to be a big focus? So does organizational excellence matter, player development, or personnel department? I think we can all agree that when it comes to our football team, nothing matters most or more than our player development. We bring talent in here to be the best that they can be. And then it says, which part of the offense will you be focused on developing the most? What part of our offense needs the most development? I really think it's our receivers right now. We've got a few young, talented guys in there that need some development, and I think that should be what we focus developing. And it says, last question, what will separate us from the other coaches in this league? I don't know. Shit, that's a great question. It says that we've got innovative play calling, dominating run game, unstoppable area attack, or high-octane pace. I think if we're talking about Coach Armchair coming over from UTSA, right, if we're making this the head canon, our run game was our dominant force in that dynasty, and it still is. We still have another season or two maybe if we can't win a championship this year. But dominating in the run game is absolutely our bread and butter. And we are going to get into things here finally after our interview. And we're going to get into some training camp. Plenty of drills for us to pick from here. I think we only really need to do do we really want to spend a drill on one of these two guys? I don't think so. I think I'd much rather do this pocket presence drill with Carson Beck because I think the bucket drop will probably be a pretty tough drill for Carson Beck to win gold in. All right, so we are in the pocket presence drill, and we're just going to do our best here to get ourselves a gold. We're playing on all Madden, right? So I've got to get used to everything as far as, Madden is just definitely different than college football and how they present things to you, how the game looks even, because I think Madden is still running off of a slightly different engine than college football 27. I'm not sure. I'm speaking out of my butt here, which I love to do. We're off to a pretty strong start here in this drill, I will say. We're feeling the pocket pretty well and not having too hard of a time finding the range with our button presses here. In college football 27, I feel like if I hold the ball for more than literally a millisecond, it is impossible for me to hit a lob pass. But we have already earned a gold here with plenty of time to spare. All right, so Carson Beck earns 2,500 XP and a skill point. And then in the rushing game, of course, we're going to spend the rushing attack drill on Jeremiah Love, right? Make him even better before the season starts. Okay, so we do indeed earn a gold for Jeremiah Love, and we get a skill point and 2,500 XP, and we'll keep moving on. Of course, I think if we're talking about a wide receiver we wanted to do some development on, it's definitely going to be a Marvin Harrison Jr. over a Michael Wilson. Both receivers I feel like can develop, but I think Michael Wilson's just a little bit too late in his development cycle to really spend any time focusing on it. Okay, so we got 2 skill points and some XP for Marvin Harrison Jr. That drill is incredibly fucking frustrating. I am not a fan of that. We do have a pocket protector drill that we can do for one of our young guys. Maybe we bring Chase Basantis in here. Let him get some development going. Okay, much less frustrating getting through the offensive line drill there with Chase Basantis. So he'll get himself a skill point and some XP. And who do we want to bring in on defense here? Feel like maybe Walter Nolan is the smart choice, right? He's our young, talented defensive tackle that we want to develop, so we'll throw him in here and get him a little bit of development bonus. You know, I truly think that EA are the kings of breaking shit that doesn't need to be fixed, because that drill was hell. And I looked it up, and it looks like it is not just me that has had issues where I could just not shed blocks. I would get caught on an offensive lineman and then just be stuck there. So, fix your game, EA. I feel like we've said this many times. Is there anybody here that we really want to end up spending the time developing? Like, Mac Wilson's never going to get much better than this, and nobody else in our mic room. I mean, Carson Sharar maybe, but I'm good on that. Defensive backs, I think we could probably go ahead and spend some time with Will Johnson in there. and that would be the last of our training camp drills, which thank God, because this segment is taking me so much longer than I thought it would. So much longer because of how bad the training camp drills are for some of these. Really need some work there. So we're here in DB battle. I'm not a great cornerback. I will admit that happily here, as we will get a coverage sack here on the first one. They just usually, especially in my memories of playing this drill, they always end up putting it right where I can't get it. We will get the pick that time, though. All right, so with that drill being complete, we got Will Johnson a gold and some XP as well as a skill point. I think that's just about it as far as our training camp drills. There's nobody else that we really want to develop. And that brings us to game day against the Raiders. I think for the preseason, we're not going to step in and play any of these games. I just want to be able to get into the regular season here as fast as possible. Now, here in this NFL universe, I guess they haven't updated the fact that Stefon Diggs signed with the Commanders. We do have some cap room that we can potentially use. I don't know how much we have. Okay, we have 36 million cap space, it says right there. So we could go out and try to make a deal for a talented free agent, right? We've got a few decent receivers in here. Matt Milano is still a free agent. Xavier Woods, Rasul Douglas, who's I think also a Commander at this point. Kareem Hunt is still here. I mean, there's a few guys that are intriguing targets to say the least. However, I don't think there's anybody in this free agency group that we really need. Stefon Diggs, I think, might be an interesting option. He could really help us out in the wide receiver room, but that feels like a move we would more so make if we were actually competing for a title, as it looks like the Bengals sign free safety Harrison Smith. So that's interesting. It's nice that we get those little pop-ups. I think that's a really neat feature. But we will go ahead and upgrade our players here. And it looks like, I mean, I kind of want, it looks like the Falcons signed Tyreek Hill. Okay. I think I kind of want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be as well balanced as possible. I kind of do want him to be more physical, though. He's a big body receiver, right? So we should be able to, really build into that. And then for Walter Nolan here, I guess we can upgrade his nose tackling just a little bit. I hate that it takes them away. So I have to come back to them after I've upgraded everyone else with 2 points. We'll upgrade Will Johnson's zone here. And then we can get down here to all of our other guys. I think despite the fact that Jeremiah Love's a great elusive back, and I definitely want to keep him as an elusive back, I do want to also have him be able to catch passes out of the backfield. And then we'll go ahead and upgrade Marvin Harrison Jr.'s physicality some more. And then I'm going to pick up your pass rushing even more there, Walter Nolan. And then for everybody else here, we're obviously going to get through and upgrade these guys really quick. Chase Basantis, let's go ahead and upgrade your power. Blake Gillikin will probably just upgrade his kick power. I don't even care about upgrading Gardner Minshew that much, to be honest. And then Carson Beck, that'll be the one interesting point of upgrading we've got to do. So Carson Beck, of all of our quarterbacks, is definitely the most malleable as far as if we were to throw him out there today, he could probably be the starter. Jacoby Brissett's only a few overall points better than him. So could we throw him out there and say, hey, let's give you a shot this season? I don't know. I think it would have to come down to how we start the season out. If it's going to be us tanking, then why not give Carson Beck a shot to see if he can do anything for us? But with that being said, it looks like we are ready for another game week here that we will go ahead and skip through because it's not our actual week 1 game here. And then I think the plan for this episode is we'll do all of the training camp, the preseason stuff, and play through game 1. And that'll be the first episode here, as we have plenty of things to look at for the weekly hub. It says, preseason work for Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. wants additional preseason work to sharpen his game before week 1. Okay, he can do some extra training. So I'm assuming that, does this give us an opportunity to hop in here with him and do, a training drill, I guess? All right, so we've tried this a couple of times, and it hasn't gone too well to start. Okay, we've tried this a couple times. This is, I think, my last attempt to get a gold in it. This is just a really bad drill with the way it's set up. Once again, it feels like I've said that a lot about a lot of these drills, but it is unfortunately the truth here. They make it very difficult on you as the offensive player to beat the defensive players they send out there after you. And we're still trying to make it happen though. As I can see, okay, I thought we were going to have a chance to maybe catch them in the obstacles there. And Buda Baker is hot on our tail. We're going to try to get him with the little spinny thing, and we do manage to get it. And then there's 500 right there. Can we get back to the stamina zone? Not quite. And we're stopped short at 3,400. That's where I'm calling it. I'm not giving it another shot. I've tried this like 8 times. I'm getting more frustrated than I should doing mini games in this, right? I should only be getting frustrated at the gameplay. The mini game should be quick and easy and fun and help me develop my team. And that's not what it's been. It's been, hey, fuck you, have a hard time, and we're going to give you the stupidest drills possible, as I guess we'll have another opportunity with Will Johnson Jr. to do one. All right, so it looks like we're doing DB Battle Red Zone, which I think is fun. As long as they give us the routes, we can kind of play some decent cornerback. It's a lot harder when you can't see the routes on the screen, which I think way back when I still played Madden consistently, that was a thing. Like, especially for this red zone version, you could not see the routes. So you were truly playing guesswork to see if you could intercept it or not. So unlike the Marvin Harrison Jr. experience we just had, that one was actually pretty quick and easy. So I won't complain about being able to get some extra development for Will Johnson. As we get ready for week 1, there's no free agents we want to sign. There's a game against the Packers still, and we do have a couple of guys to upgrade here. All right, so we are taking a look at the weekly strategy. We're going to confirm the loadout of abilities. And here in the development plan, you see what I mean? Why is Reggie Virgil being focused on? I'm not interested in developing Reggie Virgil. No offense to you there, Reggie. However, we have more important players that I think could use some development, like maybe Chase Basantis here. If I can find him. Did I skip past him? Oh, Chase Basantis is already here. So we got to find a different player. I'm being real dumb. So I think I would much rather us be focusing on developing Marvin Harrison Jr. still. He's 24. Okay, so Falcons also went out and signed Stephon Diggs. So they've got Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs in their wide receiver core. Jesus, man, what are we doing? But I think that's what we'll end up doing for our focus players. I'm really hoping that soon enough we'll be able to unlock whatever it is to give us more focus players. But we will see. Got some more upgrades for our players after a week of training, which is good. Carson Beck has another skill point here, which is like, it's making me really tempted to give him a shot at starting. At this point, he's a 69 overall after upgrading. I really think that might be good enough to compete for the starting job. If we're going to be bad, let's be bad, right? And really capitalize on the opportunity to give a young quarterback on our team room to develop and the space to say, hey, we are dog shit. We don't expect you to go out there and win every game. We're just trying to see what you've got. So I think Carson Beck could really be in play. We will give it, I think, a game or two with Jacoby Brissett at the helm, but if things aren't meshing, it might be the Carson Beck show in very quick order around here. We have won both of our preseason games. I don't know how you take that one here. So we will go ahead and advance the week, and that will take us to cut day, where we will have to decide who will make the 53 for our very first squad of Madden 27. So, before we get into any sort of training, we've got to find 22 players for us to cut off of our roster. I think we're currently keeping all of our quarterbacks. We don't want to get rid of any of those. Do we need 5 running backs? I like Bam Knight. Bam Knight is an interesting player. However, I don't know if we need him. So I think Bam Knight will probably be one of the first cuts we make, unfortunately. We're kind of going through this in order. Have quite a few receivers. I think we're fine keeping all the way down here through... I think we'll keep Semi Fihoko over Emir Smith-Marset. And then how about Jalen Brooks? Yeah, Jalen Brooks can also hit the road, and that'll leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers that we can rely on. In the tight end room, I think we definitely don't need more than 3. So unfortunately, Tegan Quinteranio here. Okay, that will cost us cap space to let him go. And I guess I don't want to like cost myself money to. No, did it just? It just cut 19 players for me, didn't it? Yep, the CPU cut 22 players, and I pressed the wrong button, and it shouldn't be that easy. It should not be that easy. I want to make that incredibly clear, that it should not be that easy. So I guess we'll have to see here who the CPU let go of on our team, because I didn't get to control it after pressing the wrong button. So it looks like Iku Leota, Keaton Crawford, Joey Blount, Josh Fryer, Matt Pryor, James Conner got cut. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then they released Simi Fehoko to, oh my god, dude. Can I like quit and rejoin, and maybe I don't have to do that, because that's ridiculous. And nope, it's looking like that's going to be our cuts. That's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Why would we cut Jeremiah or James Conner? Why would we cut James Conner? Why would the Cardinals do that? We left Trey Benson as our third option instead of keeping 4 running backs on the roster like we should have. We cut Simi Fehoko to leave us with, who's Xavier Weaver? I didn't see this guy before when we were making cuts. I mean, I'm going to have to live with it, because there's no way I'm not going to go back out and re-sign James Conner at this point. But that's really fucking frustrating. Really frustrating that Madden has no sort of, are you sure you want the CPU to handle this for you? Whatever. I'm getting really irritated at this game already, which shouldn't be the case, right? I shouldn't be irritated about the franchise mode of this game less than an hour into the experience. I mean, I'm over an hour into the experience, but that's because I've had to spend 45 or so fucking minutes trying to get drills done because Madden has broken them. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of complaining. I'm trying to stop because there's so much good in this, unfortunately. We're just having a bad time right now. All right, so we'll get some extra reps there for Chase Besantis. It went pretty well. He got himself a gold. And we still have we have a player to upgrade here in Darius Robinson. Is he a rookie this season, I think? Or is it last season that he was a rookie? Either way, he's very young. Another talented defensive tackle, I think, that could maybe develop. We'll see, though. And with that, I think we are finally ready to move on to week 1. Kind of banged up the roster a little bit more than I would have liked, letting go of James Conner. I don't know why the CPU thought that was the deal to make. So we will have to see what's going on here in week 1 against the Chargers. It says we could use a real draft class. I don't know if we're going to. I feel like for the sake of, making things as hard as possible, because when you watch enough college football, which players are going to be better than others in user-created draft classes anyway. As we look here for an extension, perhaps, for Budda Baker, that's going to be something that we are going to hold off on, because I am not, as it looks like Chris Olave will sign an extension, I am not ready to announce whether or not we want to re-sign him. I understand that he's one of the best players on the team. However, he's 30. And he's only going to get worse. So are we really going to keep a guy like that around on a huge contract so he can only get worse? I don't know. So we have to get our scouts in here. Looks like we've got, a 3-star, 2-star, and then 3 1-star scouts. I believe used to be an ability that lets you hire more tier 2 scouts. I'm not sure, though. And then as far as what we need in this class, it would appear that the best player is Damon Terrell, there's Eric Gonzalez, and Darren Rowe is the best quarterback. For our draft, we need a quarterback for sure. So I think for our scouts, we definitely want to hire at least like 2 scouts that are quarterback oriented, and then everybody else, I think it just depends on the strengths of the class, really. So we'll bring in Kenny Ramsey here, who will be our quarterback scout. And then I think for the 2-star scout, do we also go ahead and find a QB-oriented, I think a QB wide receiver scout like Ross Kane here would be perfect. And then for the 1-star scouts, I don't know why Miguel Villanueva here is showing. Oh, that's why. So for our 1-star scouts, I don't know if it matters that much, right? We could use a little bit of everything anywhere. So I guess it really depends on the regions. That'll be the next thing for us to focus on. But for now, we're going to go ahead and we will assign our 3-star scout to the national region. That's what you should always be doing. And then for our 2-star scout, we want to put him where the QB prospect that we talked about is, and that is on the West Coast. So we will send him out west, and that should really take care of scouting the quarterback that we really want in our program. And then for our 3 1-stars, that means we've got the Central, Northeast, and Southeast regions. So probably want to find a scout that can scout the strengths of those class. So here in the Central region, I guess that's where we'll look next. We need someone who can scout maybe a cornerback, defensive tackle, halfback. Okay, so Lamar Thornton here I think is the perfect fit. He's a wide receiver and cornerback scout, so we can hire him aboard, and then we will send him to the Central region. And we can take a look at the Northeast region. So a left edge wide receiver, weak side linebacker scout. So let's see if we can find a combination of those here in the free agent scouts. Okay, so Lulu Hernandez is an edge slash linebacker scout, so that'll fit perfectly in that Northeast region. And then for the Southeast, we need someone who can maybe scout wide receiver, left tackle, or right tackle. So offensive tackle and a receiver scout would be the absolute perfect fit. We'll go ahead and put Lulu Hernandez in the Northeast region first, though. So it would appear that we're only going to be able to get one or the other. We can't find someone who's good at scouting both. We need a tackle way less than we need some help at receiver, I think. So we'll send a scout out to the Southeast to scout some receivers for us. And with that, we've got our scouts in place, which means I think there's nothing else for us to do except hop in. Well, actually, we've got a weekly strategy to go ahead and take care of. We'll confirm that loadout in advance, get our training, go ahead and sim through that, and then it'll be time for us to hop into our first matchup at Arizona. Well, we're actually at Los Angeles today, so we're not in Arizona for our first experience here, but we're going to hop in, and I think for this series, right, the goal is for us to play the full experience the whole of the suffering, as we're going to come out here in our nice white away uniforms that I can't see yet. There they are. And I guess the Chargers are going to wear their home unis. And we will see how we perform against a playoff team from last season in the Chargers. Okay, so we have arrived for our first showing on the field. I've got the sound off, so I'm going to have to turn like the game sound back on here. All right, so we are out here to take the kickoff, and this is definitely something that's different from the last time I played Madden. The new kickoff rule here in effect, as we are going to cut with Devin Duvernay and get taken down here after a pretty decent return. And Jacoby Brissett, our quarterback for maybe not that long, will take the field here. So a 1st and 10, Jeremiah Love in the backfield. Incredibly excited to see what he can get up to. In fact, we're going to hand it off to him on 1st down, and he's got the edge, but he's going to get cut down after a gain of just 5, and it looks like he got absolutely messed up after his very first carry. So Tyler Algier in the backfield here on 2nd and 5. We're going to drop back to pass, maybe find Marvin Harrison Jr. No, we're going to get picked off immediately. Oh boy. Try to throw with some anticipation, and that's the result we end up getting there. So Chargers ball now, 1st and 10. Let's see if we can maybe dial up some pressure here on 1st down, as they're going to hand off to Amarian Hampton, who's got nothing but space, and he's gone. Man, this is going to be tough. I mean, it took no time at all for them to tear our defense apart and find a score here, as I'm not even going to bother watching the extra point. And we'll be back on offense now, needing to answer here after literally no time at all. Tyler Algier still in the game here as we're going to hand it off to him on 1st and 10, and we're going to get dropped for a loss of 5. So 2nd and 15, not having any sort of success here to start the game, as we'll throw one short to Kendrick Bourne and just pick up 2. But if we are talking about having to settle for a couple yards of play, it's going to be a very long day here in Los Angeles. We're going to send Algier out in motion on 3rd and 13. Maybe we can find something over the middle. And I do see Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open. We'll give it to him, and we will pick up a 1st down. Wanted to check here in the injury report to make sure that Jeremiah Love wasn't actually hurt. But we are missing Michael Wilson and Walter Nolan today. So that is painful to take here early in the season. 2 of our better players not on the field for our first game. 1st and 10, though, we're going to hand off to Algier. And once again, Los Angeles is just in our backfield immediately. Not producing any sort of push here in the run game early on. And it's going to be 2nd and 11. Going to drop back to pass, and I see Algier open, and we're going to put it on him. And he's got some space to work with, and he's going to take it inside the Los Angeles 30. I mean, I would really like for us to start being able to switch to exploits counters. Okay, so they do have the box stacked here, is the recommendation we're getting from ourselves, as we're going to switch to a slant play. They do drop out of the pressure, and we're going to try to roll out to the edge with Jacoby Brissett and just pick up a yard. Maybe could have thrown something on the run there, but I don't know if I exactly trust Jacoby Brissett to throw on the run. 2nd and 9 here, Algier in the backfield, and he's exhausted as he's going to get absolutely clobbered by, I think that was Khalil Mack. And it is going to be 3rd and 7 here. We're in field goal range, so no need to do something stupid, as we'll find Kendrick Bourne for the 1st. Definitely feels a little bit clunkier gameplay-wise than college football does. The passing, the catching is definitely a lot more non-smooth. I don't know how to put it, but anyway, it is 2nd and 9 after a short run, and we're going to try to keep using the passing game. It's seeming to be coming alive here on our 2nd possession, as we'll find Kendrick Bourne again just short of the sticks for a 3rd and 2. Kendrick Bourne a little bit banged up early on here. And on 3rd and 2 here, Algier in the backfield. We're going to hand it off to him, try to pick up something short, and he's going to get stuffed by Bobby Wagner. Oh, Bobby Wagner's playing for the Chargers now. That's fantastic. And on 4th and 1 here, it would appear that we're still going to have to rely on our run game, and Trey Benson's going to get stuffed short. Well, this is not going well to start off this season, as we're going to be trying to keep them from moving the ball, as Justin Herbert's going to keep it on the play action and throw it out to Keenan Allen, who I guess is re-signed here in Los Angeles. And Amarian Hampton was hurt on that play. So on 2nd down here, I'm not sure who's in the backfield, but they are wearing Amarian Hampton's old number. And they will hand it off to, is that Kareem Hunt? Is that Kareem Hunt in their backfield? No, that's not Kareem Hunt. Who is that? As they hand it off to him again, I'm trying to figure out who that running back is. I can't remember who would be wearing 28 after Amarian Hampton switched to 8. I guess I'm just not going to figure it out. No pop-ups there to tell me. 2nd and 9 here. Chargers in the shotgun. Haven't seen them throw the ball downfield too much, and they're going to keep that up here by handing off to Hampton again. It's already got 50 yards on the ground after that big rushing touchdown in their first drive. And on 3rd and 2 here, they're in the shotgun once again. They send a man in motion as the clock is running down, and Herbert's going to drop back to pass. He's going to step up, and he's going to pick up the 1st with the legs that time. It's going to be a tough matchup. We knew all along that the Chargers were probably a better football team than we are at this point, as they're going to run a interesting play action there on 1st down and hand it off to Keenan Allen eventually. And he will pick up the 1st down. Yeah, there was a lot of fake handoffs going on there, and I had no idea what was going on. So 1st and 10 here. Let's try to bring some heat to stuff the run perhaps. But once again, there's just plenty of space for Hampton. Chargers offensive line opening up huge holes here early on, and we're just not really doing enough to stop it. It's 2nd and 4 for them, as they're in the pistol, probably going to turn around and hand off again, knowing how things have been going so far. And that's exactly what they do to Amarian Hampton here, and he's going to bust outside and break. Oh, my God. Things looking pretty rough here to start in San Diego, as we'll be back on offense after giving up a second huge running play, and Tyler Algier will find a little bit of space and pick up 6 that time. Have not seen Jeremiah Love since his first carry of the game. I mean, if we look here, yeah, I mean, he's just absolutely banged up, and we just can't have him out on the field, I guess, as we'll hand off to Algier on second down and pick up the first. But yeah, this is a rough showing. I mean, to give up 2 huge runs on San Diego's first 2 possessions here really hurts, as Trey McBride is wide open down the field, and we're going to lay one on him, and he is going to pick it up. Oh, he broke the tackle but stepped out. However, that does put us deep into San Diego I'm never going to get it right. Los Angeles territory, as we will drop back and try to get a screen going perhaps here on first down. Some space for Algier, and he will pick up 7. I'm like irritating myself by messing up Los Angeles' name every time I say it, because they've been in Los Angeles for years at this point. I should be used to it. Hand off to Algier on second and 3. Nothing to do on that one. 3rd and 3 coming up. We're in the shotgun. We've got, I think, a couple of routes that could really break open quickly, like Marvin Harrison Jr. Can we get to the goal line? Not quite. We're going to be stopped at the 1, but we will have first and goal here. In the pistol, Algier behind us. We're going to hand it off to him, cut back, and get stuffed. I mean, our inability to get a single yard is astounding. And the fact that we saw all of one play of Jeremiah Love before he's too hurt to continue playing is also astounding. And the fact that we still can't get a yard is astounding. On 3rd and goal here, we're going to keep trying to run the ball. And once again, oh my God. I'm just getting so flustered at this point that everything is going wrong. We can't pick up a yard on the ground. I can't say Los Angeles Chargers, and we're getting sacked. Can we skip to the end of this already? I'm ready to get out of this game. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Los Angeles. How is he so wide open? Buda Baker, you want a contract and you're doing that? You're getting burnt like toast. Oh my God, dude. Buda Baker's talking about a new deal after giving up the most abhorrent deep pass I've ever seen. It's 1st and 10 on our 40-something for the Chargers. I just want to get out of this game at this point. This is abysmal. As they're going to hand off to Marion Hampton, we will finally get him taken down before ripping off a huge chunk on us. Amazing that we somehow know how to do that. 2nd and 10 now. Let's try some man coverage. Hasn't done us wrong in the past, right? Definitely didn't just burn us a few plays ago. We'll hand off to Keenan Allen, and we will take him down after just a gain of 2. And I think for like the first time today, we will have the Chargers with a 3rd down. And don't tell me, yep, Buda Baker just got hurt on that play. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Herbert's going to drop back here on 3rd and 8, and he's going to fire one over the middle. What is that? What is this animation? You're telling me we're not laying a hit on the receiver. What are we doing? What are we doing? Not trying to win the game. I mean, God damn it. We're not even a game into the season, and it's like we're trying everything in our power to tank. They're going to snap the ball on 1st down, and Amarian Hampton's just got so much space every time they hand the ball off. Let's try some pressure on 1st and 10. Let's try anything other than what's not been working, which is literally everything else. So they're going to drop back to pass here. Quentin Johnston's wide open, and he's going to break tackles before finally getting taken down, 1st and goal. I know it's not supposed to be easy, but the fact that we're just getting our shit handed to us like this is kind of unreal. And Herbert's going to throw the play action, dump it off to the tight end, and they'll lose yardage that time. So 2nd and goal here. In the shotgun for the Chargers. I wouldn't expect them to pass the ball. However, they are going to throw another short one here. Buda Baker back on the field, and it will be 3rd and goal. So 3rd and goal, and they're going to throw again, and Ladd McConkey's open in the end zone, and that's a touchdown. I mean, I can't be everywhere. Tried to play the middle of the field, and I guess I just didn't see the crosser coming open. But here we go. We're down 21-0 here in our first game. Minute 26 to go before halftime. Can we go down and find some points? Or are we just going to get blown out all game. We'll find Trey McBride to get us a 2nd and inches here. We're going to try to keep things swift to get in as good a position as possible here. I don't know why Devin Duvernay is supposed to be getting that carry. But we're going to drop back to pass again. Trey McBride open again, and we'll find him once again for a 1st down. I mean, if you guys are fine leaving Trey McBride open, I'll go back to that well all day long. As it's 1st and 10 here, 45 seconds on the clock. Got to start using our timeouts sooner rather than later. Marvin Harrison Jr. open, and we'll find him over the middle. We'll take a timeout here. The thing to consider is that our offense hasn't been unsuccessful, really. We just haven't been able to come away from drives with points. So we're going to have to really dial it in here. Trey McBride open on the slant, or not the slant, the drag on 1st down, and we'll pick up another one. And he'll get out of bounds as well, so that's even better for us here. 1st and 10, 34 seconds to go in the half. We're still kind of driving with some success. I guess we'll take a chance on the run. Kendrick Bourne not able to hold on through the contact. However, Jacoby Brissett did manage to put that on target. 30 seconds to go, 2nd and 10. Kendrick Bourne open. Can we find him? And yes, we do drop one in there for Kendrick Bourne. Touchdown, Cardinals. Our 1st touchdown as head coach here. So, struggling mightily in this half. However, we do finally get our mojo back right before halftime. The 26 seconds to go before halftime is here. I don't think that the Chargers would be that greedy to go for some points. They are going to throw on 1st down, and we will knock the ball out from Keenan Allen. A 2nd and 10 here. They're in the shotgun again, so now we're a little bit more prepared for a passing play, knowing that they're trying to maybe get in field goal range here. They're going to drop back. We're going to play the middle of the field. They're going to find their tight end once again. Who is their tight end, and why are we refusing to play coverage on him? Oh, I know who their tight end is, too, because I had him on my fantasy football team last year, and I can't remember what his name is right now. As they're going to find him once again. No, we do knock it out that time. Thank goodness for that, as it will be a 2nd and 10 here. Herbert in the shotgun. He's going to send Hampton out in motion. He's going to drop back here, and he's going to find Keenan Allen short, and we are there to stuff it that time. So 7 seconds left here. Really getting to the point where I don't know if they'll be able to get into field goal range unless they get a big play here. And they're going to drop it off to Amarian Hampton, and we are going to stuff them short of the 1st, and that will be it for the 1st half. Now coming out in the 2nd half, we'll go ahead and do our kickoff. Make sure that we do our best to prevent a big return, as we will take them down right around the 25. Chargers offense back out onto the field. They were able to get kind of whatever they wanted in the 1st half against us. I think we're really missing the presence of Walter Nolan Jr. in the middle in this game, as it'll be 2nd and 10 after a short run. Herbert in the shotgun, kind of changing things around, it looks like, and he's going to hand off to Hampton still, and he will get taken down after a 3-yard loss. Okay, so our defense has figured out how to play the run maybe a little bit more coming out of halftime, as it'll be a long 3rd and 13. Can we stand tall, finally get a stop on this offense? And no. We're going to give up another touchdown. I mean, I was watching things develop here. Will Johnson's supposed to be playing the deep zone, and instead of playing the deep zone, he gets hooked onto the tight end here. Oh, yeah, it's David Njoku. David Njoku? Did he really sign with the Chargers, or am I tripping? Anyway, as you can see, Will Johnson gets caught playing the tight end, ends up giving up another huge touchdown. Things are going swimmingly here in our 1st game, as we'll come back out on offense. We've seen all of 1 carry from our young star running back, as he's finally healthy enough to get a carry here in the 2nd half, as we'll give him a carry on 1st and 10, and he will get out to the edge, but Asante Samuel Jr. will be able to take him down after just a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 here. Let's keep dialing up the passing game that has actually done us pretty well today. We'll drop one off short for Kendrick Bourne and let him pick up some yardage, as he'll break a Derwin James tackle and get shoved out afterwards. So Jacoby Brissett, despite the interception to start the game, has really come out and not played so bad so far. 14 of 16, and we've made a few great completions with him at the helm, so maybe we're not in such a hurry to get Carson back in here. However, that's a gain of 2 on first down. So 2nd and 8 here. We're in the shotgun looking to pass as we're trying to see something develop. I see Trey McBride on a cut over the middle, and we'll get it to him. Those big hands doing wonders for us in this game as he'll have like his 5th catch maybe. And we've got a 1st and 10 inside of Charger territory. I think we're going to audible down to the run here. Let's give Jeremiah Love a few carries to really establish himself, and he'll only pick up a yard again that time. I think the run lanes will be there. We just have to continue. Why is Devin Duvernay getting a... Anyway, it's going to be 2nd and 9 here. We're going to drop back to pass. Kendrick Bourne open, and we'll give it to him, and he'll pick up a 1st. So a good read of the defense that time to give us a 1st down. It's not the same as us being able to play well on defense, right? Because we are not doing much of that right now. As we'll hand off to Jeremiah Love again, and he can't make Derwin James miss, but he will pick up a big 1st down. So there's a little bit of explosion from our explosive running back. And on 1st and 10 here, let's see if we can continue to drive as we'll find Trey McBride. He's going to miss the tackle there and get taken down after a gain of 10. 2nd and inches here. Jeremiah Love back in the backfield for this play. We have a read option dialed up. This could be very bad as we're going to keep it here. And yeah, Jacoby Brissett didn't even have time to pitch it before Khalil Mack throws him to the ground. It's going to be 3rd and 4. I mean, that was the right read because they were playing the running back, but not so much as Marvin Harrison Jr. will get across the sticks on that catch to give us a 1st and goal. All things considered, we haven't folded in this game. We're definitely struggling defensively to keep the Chargers out of the end zone. And, okay, a little bit behind Marvin Harrison Jr., and he can't hold on through the contact here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. We're fighting in the game, right, which is what we wanted, as it's going to be 3rd and goal after they continue to play tough defense. I mean, the Chargers defense, we know all about how talented and tough it is to score on them. And with our offense here, I feel like we've had some great success. Trey McBride cannot hold on through the contact that time. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 7. We're not really so desperate in this game, I think, to try to go for it on 4th and goal. So we'll take the field goal here. It's 28-10. I mean, we know that more than likely this game is probably already over, especially with how little resistance our defense seems to be able to put up today. But we're not saying die until the fat lady sings. So they're going to send a receiver in motion here on 1st and 10, and they're going to hand off to Hampton, and we will get into the backfield there that time and bring him down for a loss. 2nd and 10 here, still in the shotgun. Feel like they're probably more inclined to go for a pass play, but no, they will hand off to Hampton again, and it will be 3rd and 10 very quickly. So 3rd and 10 here, we're going to try to make sure they can't get to the sticks. We're going to play the line as best as we can here. They send somebody in motion back to pass, and Njoku is wide open, and he breaks the tackle, and he's gone. I mean, it's really disappointing how little we are doing on defense. Every time we go to make a tackle, it's just getting broken. Every time we try to play the ball, they catch it. It has been anything you want as far as the Chargers offense is concerned. Anybody can have a big play today. Once again, we're just going to continue to try to respond on offense there as we throw one into maybe a bad situation on 1st and 10. But we were saying the fat lady wasn't singing yet. She's singing. She's done sung at this point. We still have a 4th quarter to go, but this game's over. This team has come out and absolutely flopped here in week 1. And it's pretty clear to me that the blazing weakness of our team right now is our defense. I mean, look at how well our offense is able to move the ball here, more or less. Like, I genuinely feel like we are in a situation where we could have been in this ball game, perhaps, as we're going to throw another interception. I hate option routes, dude. So Chargers back on offense again. They're going to hand off to Amarian Hampton, and he's going to pick up 5. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think you're going to see much else from this game after this. I'm just going to sit here in silence and take the beating, and I will see you with the final score more than likely. All right, so there's your final score. It's 42-10 here. What a fucking embarrassment this game was. I don't think there was any player in this game that contributed meaningful football. As we can see, Jacoby Brissett threw almost 30 times for 271 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. Jeremiah Love, 14 carries for 64 yards. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this performance. I understand we're up against a great football team. I thought things would have been closer. I thought we would have had a little bit more success defensively. However, we're just getting our shit pushed in by whoever. So that'll be concerning going into next week and next episode. Yeah, not a great start. I don't know what else to say aside from not a great start. So with that loss out of the way, we can go ahead and move on to next week. A really disappointing start to the series. We knew that playing on all Madden difficulty was tough, but oh my goodness, that was definitely a very, very painful experience. So with that being said, that is the end of our first episode here. Hopefully, our next episode, I think our goal is to play through like 2 or 3 episodes an episode, or 2 or 3 episodes, 2 or 3 games an episode. Oh my God, I'm so tired of my inability to speak today. So that is it for today's episode. If you did enjoy today's episode, you want to see more, go ahead and comment down below, hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel to help me out and reach some more people in the YouTube algorithm. I will hope to see you in the next episode very soon. Take care.